Need to know what really makes you go.
Yo, shout out to the Most High. It's always a high moon in our lower state. It's LD's, also known Party Boy Lawrence, for another episode of I Need to Know, and I got my special guest.
What's up?
What's your name?
My name is Netta B, Netta Brielle, or simply Netta.
Okay, Netta B. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what's crazy? I heard so much about you. It's funny because now I'm putting a face behind the voice.
That's what's up.
It's kind of like, you know, like when you like on the phone with somebody and I'm calling for somebody and they sister or something, like they get on the phone and I finally get a chance to meet you.
Right.
Hey.
Hey.
So where you from?
I am raised in Berkeley.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time in Oakland, Bay Area, everything. I learned a lot here musically and, you know, just growing up. Very proud of where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah.
You proud of where you going too, though? Because I know you doing big things, all right?
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there.
Okay. So what exactly do you do?
I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, actress, everything of the arts. I grew up doing plays, writing poetry, and music has just been my thing, like my outlet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of music do you do?
I'm really into all kinds of music. I specifically do a lot of R&B, pop, hip hop, soul. I like country music, but I think like the core of me is like R&B, soul with a touch of pop.
Gotcha. So if I was going to like a record store, like what would you be categorized? Like what would I see Netta be next to?
First of all, I fuck with you for saying record store. I haven't heard record store in so long. You know, that's really kind of a hard question to answer because it's like R&B is my thing, but I'm also so much into pop. I like light rock from the 80s. But I guess specifically, if I think of Netta, you would probably go to, you know, R&B, soul. That would probably be, you know, where you would go to in a record shop.
Okay.
You know, they're closing like one of the Rasputins, I feel like.
Oh, the legendary one in Berkeley?
Not that one. I think the one in San Francisco. I think I'm making that up. But I heard something. Let me look it up before I start just talking. But yeah, record stores, that's what made me think of.
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah. So I was going to ask you another question. What's the single you got out now?
Yeah, so I have a new single out. It's called Wifey at Home.
Okay.
It's been out for several weeks now, and it's doing pretty well. Like here at home, I think one thing I always say is that it starts at home. The people at home, the DJs, you know, those are going to be the supporters that get you to the next level. I learned that early on from watching U40, The Jacka, MC Hammer, and that's always been like my focus when putting out new music. So I have out this record called Wifey at Home, and it's been getting a lot of like radio play and stuff. And I'm just excited about it because I almost didn't expect it, but it's been growing, and I'm blessed.
So when you say wifey at home,
yeah,
okay, at home, wifey at home. Just to know that I heard you right, wifey at home.
Wifey at home.
Is the song about there's another woman somewhere else?
The song is about being in a relationship or thinking that you're in a relationship with a guy. Maybe you've fallen for him, maybe you're getting to that point, and then you find out that he has a wife at home.
Oh!
Yeah.
So you're not the wifey at home.
No,
somebody else got a wifey at home.
I think that I'm the potential wifey, and then I find out that that spot's already taken, and I might accidentally be like the side woman. But unknowingly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, I want to touch base and dig real deep into this because I like to talk about relationships and shit like that too.
Yeah.
So you find out that he got a wife at home. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
I have.
You found out?
I found out. And because of like what I do, like my schedule's always all over the place. So I'm not the person that's going to be like the detective online trying to find stuff. That was early on in life. I'm past that. And I kind of like gave this guy the benefit of the doubt because I thought he was cool. And when things started to get weird, then I had to go do my research. Gotcha. And I found out that he in fact had a wife, 3 beautiful kids, like new kids. And I would have never suspected it because it never came off like that was the case. And once I found out, I didn't reach out to the woman, and that's what the song is about too. Like, I just let it go. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go in and take my L.
So you not no studio player. This is some shit that's really went down.
Yeah, I only sing about stuff that I've like experienced. Yeah, this really happened, and a lot of my friends have experienced it, and a lot of women who've listened to the record, who hit me on social media, have experienced it, and it's just like, damn, okay, I'm not alone. Like, that's what's up.
So, was a motherfucker lying, or was it just like how did y'all meet? Like, were y'all starting off like friends or something like that? Just like some friends, and you know you're a beautiful young lady or something like that. So was it like a motherfucker was just kicking it, and then that attraction was just start growing up? I mean, going up?
Well, honestly, this happened to me more than once. It happened twice. And it was just kind of like meeting I was on my way to a show, and I met this guy, and he asked for my number. We exchanged numbers, and we just developed a friendship. It became really cool, and we talked on the phone a lot because he worked a lot, I work a lot, and I felt like, how could you even have time to have anything else going on? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not about to be like all in your business like that. And I just kind of like trusted it and looked at it as like, well, I know who I am. So I think that I have a good, judge and character. So this guy must be cool. And eventually, a few months down the line, I'm like, something's fishy, something's weird. And I found it all out. And I was just like, wow, if you're this good at like finessing me, I don't know what else you're capable of. So I'm going to just go ahead and take my L and go on and get up out of here. And go create a song about it.
So when you went through that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's definitely an LE learning experience. Did that actually open your eyes and raise a red flag for all men?
You know what? I thought that it did. And then maybe like a year or so later, I met another guy that I thought was really cool. And he wasn't married, but he definitely had a couple of situations going on. And I was unaware. And I think it's just because I'm always working. I'm always, in the studio or doing something. And maybe I just didn't pay attention to the red flags because it felt so cool. Like the connection felt very genuine, and I missed it. So now, and then at that point I had to stop and be like, okay, Netta, what are you missing? Like, what's up? How did this happen twice? Yeah. And so I had to take a step back, do some evaluating within myself, and I created the music. And now it's just like, I don't think that all men are dogs. I'm not that girl. Yeah. But I'm definitely more aware, more cautious of how I move.
Gotcha. So you said that the song is doing really well.
It's actually picking up like each week. It's been on the radio, and I really didn't expect that. But then, Big Von, Shay Diddy, Lex, DC, like these are people who have watched me like grow over the years, and I just love the fact that they still embrace me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been in the game for over 10 years now, and some people don't really know that, and it's really been like a hard fight, really like a big roller coaster for me. But to still be able to create a song and be embraced by like still some of like the movers and shakers of the Bay, I don't take that for granted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what's the biggest roller coaster that you feel like that you had to embrace through this shit?
Oh my God. It goes up and down regularly. Mm-hmm. But I feel like every time I try to step away and do something else, it just doesn't feel right. So I just get back in the mud.
When you say else, I just want to know that I'm clear on what that else is. When you say else, are you talking about like different genres of music, like you're experimenting? Or are you just like saying, fuck it, I'm doing music, well, let me just go try to do some t-shirts and that shit ain't working?
That's a good question. Well, let me go back to school. Let me try to see if I should start a like new occupation. Like every time I try to do something else, like it's a piece of my soul that's like torn away. So then I go back. But it's really not easy doing this, but I love it so much that I just keep getting back in the mud. But I mean, to be signed to a record label once, to be almost signed to another record label, to be like, okay, this is it, but then it's not, and have to come back home to my mother's house, to my high school room, and, having to build myself back up. Like, it's all these different dynamics that I went through that a lot of people don't know about. But because I come from a generation somewhat where, like, I'm more so private. Like the whole social media thing for me, like I came up watching Brandy, watching Mary, watching certain artists where like the mystique in them made them really cool. Mm-hmm. Like, so to show everything kind of took away the star power. Yeah. But now it's like star power, show everything. And I'm always in the middle of that. Like, I don't want to give y'all too much, but I have to, because then you have to connect with me. So I'm still finding my footing in that.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, when I'm thinking about social media, I'm looking at it like it's 6 point something, like 5 billion motherfuckers. Let's just round it up to 7 billion motherfuckers.
Right.
And on social media, what people what a lot of people are trying to tap in what people want and not actually letting people tap into who they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like one of the most dangerous things because like we're trying to like actually like tap into like what people want, but then you're not really selling yourself no more. You're more like selling your soul if you're like giving people exactly what they want because you're not being yourself no more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think coming from the Bay Area and then being raised, you know, a certain way in a single parent home and my mom being so strong and, you know, I'm very much so who I am. And, to change that would be really difficult for me to give the people what I think they want. Like I have to always just authentically be myself. But then at the same time, I don't always necessarily show that to the world. That may just be, you know, for my family time or my friends' time. And, you know, having to find that balance and understanding that, you know, people want to connect with you and they want to know your story. And I have such a specific story, and the fact that I'm still sitting here and doing music and still like trying to keep that positive mindset, like it's not easy. And a lot of people don't understand that. And people see me and be like, oh, Netta. And I'll be like, let me tell you something. If I look like the things that I've been through, you know what I'm saying? But I am very grateful to still have the passion for it. And to still get support. You know, it gets a little tough, but shit, I mean, what else can I do?
I heard earlier that you said that you were signed.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah. I was signed to Atlantic for a few years, and that was definitely, you know, an experience that I felt like I needed because I went into it so like unaware of how things go, and I learned a lot. You know, I even made some mistakes down that road, just kind of like not understanding the business and who to trust or whatever the case may be. But it, you know, it was a great time. At that time, a lot of people weren't getting like record deals from the Bay Area. This was kind of like before the GEZ, the Kehlani, when they came and just hit the scene, which was so dope. And I was just so happy to see them like repping for the Bay in such a big way. But before that, it wasn't a lot of deals going around. So to get that opportunity was like big.
Can I just ask you one question? Who is your favorite rapper from the 90s? I'm trying to do something real quick.
From the Bay Area?
No, of all time.
Oh, man. No. Okay, tell me yours first.
Well, this is more about you because I'm trying to figure out really how old your motherfucking ass is because you're kicking all this 10 years shit.
I know.
I mean, it looked like I might have to ID you just to buy some milk in this motherfucker.
Hey, that's so frustrating, but then it's also like a blessing too.
Okay.
Yeah, because definitely, you know. But I don't have that's hard.
Okay.
Who's yours?
Oh, my favorite rappers are probably, you know, Tupac, Nas, Snoop, Wu-Tang Clan, and shit like that. And Ice Cube in his prime is probably the dopest motherfucker, but I don't think anything could top Machiavelli. Not Tupac, Machiavelli.
Can I tell you something about Machiavelli?
Yes.
I was scared. I used to sleep with my mom. Like, and I had to get, like, that time, like, that era of hip-hop terrified me.
Really?
Like, Machiavelli, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Murder Was the Case. I was like terrified, but then also it was such an important time in hip hop. But that shit, it's like it scared me.
Yeah, it was definitely some next level shit. I wasn't fucking with the Ouija board though. I don't know.
Oh, you never did the Ouija board?
You fuck with the Ouija board?
Yeah, my grandmother had a Ouija board. We was on there like, so am I gonna get married in 2002? And then.
That shit crazy.
Wait, you never did the Ouija board?
Hell no, I grew up in a Christian household. There wasn't no motherfucking Ouija board. Some motherfucker. Hey, look, I think that was my mother said back in the 70s they was playing with a Ouija board. No, that was my friend Rashida. She was playing with a Ouija board. They threw that motherfucker away, and that motherfucker still ended up on the motherfucking porch. So if you're trying to get rid of that orange hat,
tell you something. Somebody just came and returned it back on the porch. Okay.
For sure. So how long you been doing this shit?
How long have I been doing this? Sir?
A long time, man. He moves now, like 46.
Let's see. If it is 2020, I've been consistently doing music since about 2000. Like out of college is when I really got heavy. I've been a musician and doing all this stuff since I was like 5.
5. Okay.
Yes, but like full time from 2009 to now.
Okay.
It's been a long journey. But the moment that I really knew that I wanted to do this, like for real, was I was 5, and MC Hammer. Well, I won't say I was 5. I was like some age.
Look. I'm like this. Oh, I'm gonna find out.
Some age. I was an infant, and he had brought me on stage and was like holding me. No, he brought me on stage, and like I hit an 8 count with him. And because I was really like into dancing at the time. MC Hammer is like the thing.
Wait. I'm so sorry because I find you very interesting.
Okay.
Now, I never even, my bad. Can we just go back to the Atlantic record deal? Then we gonna go back to MC Hammer. You making this motherfucking interview. Thank you.
Okay.
You making this motherfucking interview. Cool. Can't touch this. Now, now, the Atlantic record deal.
Yes.
Going in that shit, tell me what your expectations was and how was it?
So really, I had just started going hard here. I used my financial aid money to do a mixtape here. As my mixtapes were getting big, and I watched the Jacka. I watched all these like rap artists here just putting out their own mixtapes, and I was like, I'm gonna do one too. And I did it on my own. I was at 17 Hertz in like San Jose. I don't even remember where it was, somewhere down there, and it kind of started making noise in the Bay Area. And then a guy named Yancey Richardson, who's from Oakland, but he moved to Atlanta. And so he had found me on MySpace and was like, I like what you're doing out there. I think that I can get you a record deal. If you come here for 30 days and cut some songs, I will get you a record deal. And I'm like, by that time, I had already gotten tired. Like, I was just like, yeah, right. And then I had done so many shows here. I'm doing the same shows over and over. And I'm like, what do I have to lose? So I went to Atlanta, did 30 songs in 30 days. And at that point, Atlantic was interested, Epic, Universal, Sony, like all the labels. It was like really like a moment. And then we hooked up with Andre Harrell, who was then working at Atlantic at the time. And he was like, you come into Atlantic. And that's where we went. And that's how it started. And it was crazy because it was something that I always wanted as a kid, but I never thought would actually happen. And it happened. Okay. And it just all started to move so fast. But I felt kind of like, okay, it's almost like I got the deal. But then once I got there, like the real work started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it became like an interesting ride.
So what was the biggest thing that you learned? What was the biggest thing that you could take from that experience? Say, you know what? I'm glad this happened out of the Atlantic deal. And then tell me, what didn't I like about the Atlantic deal?
The people were dope. Like, the people were great. I think I walked into it like so happy to have an opportunity that I didn't really fully stand up for myself and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is what we're doing. I think I was just so nervous. I was still kind of young, and I just wanted it to work so bad that I was just not confident, not as confident as I should have been. And, there's some other things in there too, but I think it just didn't. I went in hoping for help, as opposed to walking in like, I deserve to be here, what we doing.
So it was kind of like, it sounded to be kind of like, say, like if you meet this motherfucking boyfriend that you done seen that was a good basketball player or something like that, and y'all finally got y'all shot and you rocking and shit like that, but you're not really speaking up for yourself because you was more happy just to be there?
Exactly. Like, not knowing like your worth. That's such a good analogy. Yes. Like, I think I'm supposed to be here. Like, I think I'm dope. Like, I think this is meant for me, but like, I don't want to lose the opportunity. So I'm gonna just kind of like see what happens. Yeah. As opposed to just being like, listen, like, I know this is who I am. This is what I want to do. Like, and I think even now, like, it just did something to me. Like, even when I came back home, like, I went through like a minor depression because it's like you go here and you think this is your big moment. This is everything. Yeah. And then having to come back home and build, back up, and people looking at you like, oh, okay, you back home with us. You ain't nobody now. Yeah. $100 for a show. Yeah, we'll give you that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, feeling like, I'm now nothing. Like, you're seeing right through me. Yeah. I had to really work through that. You know what? I want to ask you a question just off the subject, but stay on the subject, you know what I'm saying? On the subject. Do you think that black people traditionally feel like that anyway at any line of work? Like, they don't really speak up for themselves because they feel like they're getting a job and they have to walk on eggshells because they're black anyway, whether it's at a record label or grocery store or whatever the fuck? That's a really good question.
You know, you ever heard somebody say they might bring work home? Well, babe, why didn't you tell the boss? Oh, because I just didn't want to say
See,
nothing.
and you know what? I think that's the part that I used to get frustrated with myself because I was not raised like that. Like, my mom is very shy, very timid, and very quiet. So she raised us to be like loud, big, stand up for who you are, follow your dreams, this is your passion. That is like the core of who I am. And when I got in that big building, I became like this small, but that wasn't who I was raised to be. You know what I'm saying? And then, you go into these big meetings or these big buildings with people, and you could be looked at like, what makes you different from this other girl we signed?
Yeah.
Like, all of y'all, may look like this, or all of y'all. So, I mean, like, let's just stick them all on the wall, and whatever one sticks, then that's what we'll go with. And, I don't know if I was just like prepared. Like, I got the tough skin, but I think back to like, I guess I could have just stood my ground more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because like me, I have like a kind of like a sillier, outgoing personality. Mm-hmm. When I'm not doing that and I'm just a wallflower like everybody else, then I'm not really feeling like I'm being the motherfucker that God called me to be. And sometimes when we get around other artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might be good, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can feel like you're really great in the circle that you in, like an athlete, and then they plug you into like the all-star team. Like, are you starting now? You know what I'm saying? And how do you adjust? And I imagine that probably could have been a culture shock in itself.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think had I just walked in and remembered within my soul, within myself, like why I was signed, within myself, like if I would have carried myself in that way, like knowing I deserved to be there, then maybe the outcome would have been a little different. But I think I was just so, the mind is such a strong thing in a sense of like, I was always thinking about like, I don't want to lose this opportunity. I don't want to lose this opportunity.
Yeah.
And then you put that into the universe and you might lose that opportunity because that's what you were focused on.
Yeah.
Instead of walking in there like, these are my records. I know these are good.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And those are things that I had to learn. And I think some of the biggest lessons come from those failures. And then at that point, it's just like, you take that with you to the next step.
I gotta ask you a question. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that ratchetness sells. We know that shit. So, with that being said, let's say you could assign the Atlantic back then. Let's say like what you know now, the ratchetness sells. So you could have hopped in a time machine and been ratchet. Like, would you have been ratchet, totally out your character and made different type of music just to be a millionaire? Would you have compromised who you are just to make some motherfucking money, so to speak?
Absolutely not.
When you were on label, did you have like access to the other artists that was on the label just to help you like build your stuff?
Yeah, I worked a little bit with B.O.B.
Okay.
T.I., which I was always so grateful for him because he was my first, when I first came to the label, I believe he was still at Atlantic. He put out the Trouble Man album and he gave me an opportunity to be on that album.
Gotcha.
The Hallelujah track. And it was just so big for me because for somebody of that level to give me, a newbie, like an opportunity to sing on his, I'm like, shoot, they ain't even treat me like that at home. It's like,
for sure.
Hit a flip, backflip. Let me see why you should be on but the fact that he was like, I'm going to give you this opportunity, I will always, I still haven't got my plaque either.
Yeah, what's up with that shit?
So I'll always be grateful for that. So I did have opportunities to work with artists there.
Yeah.
The most memorable, or one of the most memorable, would be like Brielle. That was such a great moment for me. And then we did records that I really liked, that unfortunately never came out. But
could you put them out now if you wanted to, or does the label own those?
Yeah, I would never do that. I think some people do that. I would never, like, I have everything, but I wouldn't dare, like, let me just sneak this on SoundCloud. I wouldn't do that.
Would you would you take the lyrics and then put it on another beat? Let's say like you was dealing with, let's say like I Am Sue. I'm just going to throw him out there because he's a known beat motherfucking maker. Would you ever take some of the shit that you did over there and just like remix it over something else? Or would you just leave it alone and just move on?
I would leave it alone unless it was something that I had written myself. then I wouldn't mind taking.
Oh,
creating.
I was just gonna get in that. Do you write your own music, or do you do half and half?
I do a little bit of everything. Half and half on my own. Somebody may have a record that they're like, I think you could do this, and then, take it from there. Like, I'm pretty open when it comes to that kind of thing.
Okay, well, speaking of being open, could somebody pay you to be a ghostwriter, or would you want to be those artists that you feel like, I want to be seen first, and then after that, then I could ghostwrite? Like, would you be open to ghostwriting?
Oh, yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you still keep in touch with those people at the label?
No, not really. Like when you see movies, like you see Unsung, or you see, when they stop answering the phone and they stop responding to the emails and stuff. And I used to take it personal for a long time back then. But, I was younger and I didn't understand things. And, and as I got older, it now, makes more sense.
Yeah.
But now I want respect. Like, I want to do the music and put the work in, and I don't want to really ask for any favors. I want people to see me doing the work and then want to come and partner up with me and move forward. Like, I don't really, want any favors. I just want.
You know what? And I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? Because like he was telling you, like, I got signed to a label before, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna just tell you this, just to stay positive. You know how I look at it, like. My experience in life is like a motherfucking Letterman jacket. And all my accomplishments, whether how big or small, they just badges on the motherfucking jacket and just keep moving. Because a lot of times, just like in relationships, this, that, whatever the fuck, jobs, you know what I'm saying? We have all these expectations and our feelings get hurt when our expectations don't get met. When I was over there on the label, I didn't know. I thought everybody was going to do the motherfucking work for me. I didn't know. I didn't have access to, like, Killer Mike and all them and Tokyo or whatever the fuck. Kid Cudi and all them that were, like, people that were members on the label and shit like that. It was just like, I'm here, so where did I go next? And it seemed like where me and you may have had in common is that it felt like a big motherfucking dream.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like a dream. Now that I'm here, what the fuck do I do? Because a lot of times we don't know. So I was going to ask you another question. Whose beats do you like the most from Oakland or the Bay Area? Like, whose beats are you really feeling? Who you want to collaborate with?
Oh, okay. Who would I want to collaborate with, like, right now?
Yeah. Like, if you could collaborate with, like, somebody to do your whole album, like, do the production on your whole album out here, like, who beats are you really feeling?
There's a lot of producers that I like right now. I like Drew Banga. I like Trackademics. I like Pilo. I'm always like I Am Sue.
That's great.
I think my all-time favorites would be like Trax a Million. That is like my boy. Like, he's one of the very first producers here to even give me a track to even try something on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, those are the ones that I could think about offhand. Sorry if I missed anybody, but those are the...
So, you know what? I want to know this. What is it like being a woman, a beautiful young lady, in the motherfucking music industry? You know what I'm saying? Like, is motherfuckers trying to pop at you with saying they trying to, that catfish shit, like, I got, I'm fucking with Dr. Dre and shit like that. And all that old smooth talking shit to get your motherfucking ass at the studio. You know what I'm saying? But you know what time it is. Did I say that right?
Yeah. You know what? I don't really, have issues like that. Not at this point. Especially since, when you think about it, the Jacka, E40, all these people I've watched to grow into these, hip hop artists independently, do their thing. Sometimes I felt like I move like a rapper. Like, I go get the work done, get out, you know what I mean? Go rock a show right quick. It may not be a big production. Go DJ booth, get out. I'm very, do the job and go, you know what I'm saying?
Well, have an opportunity. Well, let me put it like this. Have an opportunity ever switched up because you may not have wanted to sleep with a particular person is what I'm asking. Like, a motherfucker might have said, yeah, man, I got this for you or something like that. But then they tried to push their line. And when they found out that the line couldn't be pushed because you move like a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Then that opportunity soon vanished.
I might have happened once.
Gotcha.
I don't want to say who, but that might have happened once.
Gotcha. You know, because shit
It
like...
wasn't a producer from here though.
Gotcha.
Not from the, maybe from California, but not from the Bay.
Okay. And speaking of traveling around and shit like that, what would you say, like, is the biggest thing that you seen Atlanta rappers do that you, or musicians do, or people in the industry in Atlanta do, that people just don't do in the Bay, where you think that the people in the Bay could take notes from the motherfucking ATL?
Let me first say this about Atlanta. I learned so much about the recording process and how to use my vocals when I moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
And I always credit like Yancey Richardson from that because
Who?
Yancey
Yancey,
Richardson. Yeah.
okay.
Because I have like this raspy tone and I didn't know if I was singing right. I didn't know if that's what it was supposed to sound like. And when I went out there and started recording with them, he would be like, this is your sweet spot. This is what you have to do for people to feel you, or to that have that, you know, for you to have that distinctive voice.
Okay.
Because for me, like, I'm all about tone.
Okay.
You can have the craziest riffs, but if your tone is on point, you're going to be one of my favorite singers. And I think just me finding that tone is when I went to Atlanta. And just even the recording process, how to lay my vocals, all of that. I credit Atlanta for that. One thing I will say about Atlanta, they know how to come together for like the music, the movement, the culture, and I've always admired that. I think here, you know, we got a little work to do. When I think about Atlanta, I think about like the LaFace movement, which I was such a big fan of, like TLC, Babyface, Usher. Like they just had all these pockets of greatness, and they always knew how to blend it, and for just like the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've gotten to that place yet.
So when you were out there, did you look at yourself like a person that was transplanted in Atlanta, or did you look at like when you was out there, you was now part of the Atlanta movement?
That's a dope question. No, I don't feel like I was a part of the Atlanta movement. But I learned a lot.
Gotcha. Okay. And you?
I'm always so Bay Area. Wherever I
Yeah.
go, like I take it with me in my pocket, you know. And I when I was there, most of the time I was like recording. I did a few shows. I didn't really get into like, you know, the whole nightlife scene like I probably would have wanted to. Yeah.
And you said that you do movies too?
I started off acting when I was younger. I started off doing plays and theater, and my mom had me in a lot of different programs. And then it kind of turned into singing as I got a little older.
Gotcha.
So I've been getting back into it lately.
Have you ever, what are you, script writing?
No, I wish I could. I don't think I'm that raw yet. But I did a film recently, and it was a big challenge, but it was fun.
What was the biggest challenge about it?
Well, I played a sex traffic like worker, and that was first of all, I had to do a lot of research, and I didn't know a lot about what was going on right here in Oakland on these streets with young girls and what's happening and just the level that all this craziness is at. So I learned a lot, but then also having to play that role was something that I didn't know much about. So it was definitely a challenge, but, I thought it was cool to be doing something outside of music and people get to see another side, of what I do. And hopefully that'd be another opportunity and everything not just be so solely just on music.
Okay. And do you believe that prostitution should be illegal or legal?
I don't... What do you think?
What do I think?
Yes.
Do I think prostitution should be legal or illegal? I believe that somebody should be able to do whatever they want to do with their body. I don't agree with it, but I believe that somebody should be able to do whatever they want to do with their body.
I think it should be
that's
illegal. And I say that because there's a lot of people doing this that don't want to do this. They're stealing these young girls. They're drugging them. They're doing all of these things, and now they're not by choice out here on the streets.
Well, see, that's why I said I believe that if somebody wants to do something with their body, not somebody's doing something with their body that somebody else wants them to do with their body. If somebody wakes up, if Brenda wakes up right now and say, you know what, I'm ready to hoe.
But if Brenda is 13, how does she know that she's really ready to hoe?
Well, I think that it has to be like 18 or 21 and up. I think that it should be 18 and 20 up. We're not talking about minors. I'm talking about like a grown woman. If a grown woman, I don't agree with it, but if a grown woman want to say, you know what, I want to go fuck with Bruce or something like that tonight and get paid or something like that, because the only reason why it's illegal is because they can't find a way to tax it. And that's the sad part why it's illegal. Yeah. Because, I mean, check this out. If a woman can't sell her body or something like that, do you believe the fornication should be illegal too? Because I believe
really feel like those are two different things.
Yeah, but they go hand in hand.
Do you think?
I do think so.
I don't think so.
I do think so.
Well, your opinion. You're allowed to have it.
For sure. What you think?
What y'all think?
No comment on that.
No, come on,
Okay.
give us a comment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough question, bro.
Yeah, because I mean,
Because you can look at it a couple of different ways. A male and a female can always have a different opinion on that.
well, you know what's crazy? I don't really think it's a male or a female thing. I think it's motherfuckers in the game versus motherfuckers that's not in the game going to have. Because there's certain women that's with it like, shit, man, this is my job. You know what I'm saying? If that's
But they are in it because they think that they have no other options. Like they think that this is all they're worth. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the truth. So some of them are in this because they really in their mind think that this is their only way out. And that's not.
That's true. I mean, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying whatever somebody's prerogative in life is, I'm learning that. You know what I'm saying? That's just their prerogative, you know?
I feel like no man should have any say so about it.
That's
Oh,
right.
I didn't even say
That's
anything about the...
Business or personal. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never mentioned a man once. I said if Brenda wakes up and said that she
Why
wants
is her
to be a
name
hoe.
Brenda?
Shit.
Brenda had a baby.
Right. Is that what's happening?
Brenda got a motherfucking baby. You know what I'm saying?
And where did Bruce come from?
Because Brenda and Bruce, they were like twins, like in my mind and shit like that. So I had
Brenda
to,
and Bruce.
Brenda
That's like
and Bruce.
a funny, like, I'm going to name my twins that if I have twins one day.
for sure.
Brenda and Bruce.
So do you rap too?
I used to rap when I was young. Yeah.
For sure. You remember any of y'all raps?
Yeah, but I'm not about to do them right now. But I do have a cool story for you.
For sure. Go for it.
Okay, so when I was in the 5th grade, my sister came and picked me up because I was like heavily into like the brat, like all like it was a thing. So I was locked in, and I was pretty good at it. So she comes and picks me up. She's like, "I'm gonna take you to rap for somebody today." She picked me up from school early.
This is big sister, obviously.
This is my big sister. And she took me kind of like by the airport. There was like a hotel by the airport, and pulled up, and Tupac was right there, and she was like, "You're gonna rap for Tupac today."
So you was all the way around the industry since you've been a shorty.
I guess so. I guess you could say that. Yeah.
So you know what? I want to tell you from what I know about you, and I'm learning you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
You know what I'm
Sometimes
saying?
I feel like I don't know, but thank you.
Let me tell you something, because I know what you're probably feeling. You're probably feeling like everybody had all these expectations and you just this close and shit like that.
Yeah.
You fucking with it, okay? You know what I'm saying? If nobody never told you this, the universe is fucking with you. I knew you liked it. What the fuck you know about God? You know what I'm you know.
What?
You know what I'm saying, though? The universe, God is fucking with you.
Thank
Keep
you.
going. You know what I'm saying? Because you got
That's a cold line.
I mean,
that's just an overall cold line.
But you know what?
But say it again.
I said the universe and God is fucking with you.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's definitely the truth, though. It's definitely the truth.
Appreciate that.
You know, you done came a long way. Don't fall off. Tell me about your biggest time that you actually wanted to give up.
It's been a few of those times.
For sure.
When I got back home, 3 Times Crazy was getting bigger. The song that I put out.
Okay.
And so I was kind of like on this like Bay Area tour where I was just hitting up every, club. And then the Jacka passed away. Then my god sister passed away a couple of months after that. Then my grandmother, everything just kind of started happening. And it was like influential people or like family members or like close friends. And I started to feel like, am I next? Like, why is all this happening once I get home? Like, am I next in line? Like, I started to really have these wild thoughts. And, coming back home from like, Netta's leaving to make it. She's leaving to make it. Even the people who didn't think that I was gonna, and like she's leaving to make it. I'm in the studio with all these people that I had on my vision board, all these people I grew up being inspired by, and they're telling me like, you're it. And then I got to come back home to my mom's house in my high school room. And to me, that was like so heavy on my brain, so heavy on my mental. And I really went into this like deep depression because I felt like I was losing, like I had lost. Like I went off to college and came back without the degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's been a rough last few years. I'm not even going to lie to you. And I kind of lost my footing. But every time I step somewhere else, I don't feel like myself. Every time I try to do something else, you know, so I just come back to it. And I'm low-key like an OG in the game at this point. And, you know, people be like, but I'm like, I really, like, it's been a long time.
You know, it's one of the greatest lessons that you could actually pick up, though, from coming back, though?
Tell me.
That your mother was still there. Because Mr. Fab loves his mother, and I knew his mother, and she's no longer with us, and he would have loved to be able to come back to his mother with no money.
Let me tell you something. If I never, like, understood, like, how much my mom loved me and the sacrifices she made for me, when I came, she's, like, the only person I had.
Yeah.
She still might low-key be. Like that never changed.
Yeah.
She never changed. And when I left, I felt like I think she was nervous for me, but she didn't know how to, like, translate it. So she was kind of, like, mad that I was going.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. And so at that time, I didn't really understand. But when I came home and she was there without question, like, and when you think about people who don't have that, that's true.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I mean, like, that was big. It's still big for me.
For sure.
Like, just never changed once. Like, you know, but it was hard. Because it was like, I'm going off to do this. I want to come back and buy my mom a house. I want to come back so she doesn't have to go. I want to catch her before she retires. Like,
for sure.
But having to come back and be like the kid again, that was heavy.
Well, the thing about it is that the cold part about being your parents' kid is that no matter how old you get or successful, you'll always be their child.
That's true.
And that's the great thing about parents, especially when they love their kids.
Yeah.
Like, I have a son, right? He's 18 years old, and guess what?
You had an 18-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I worry about him every day. I worry about, like, stupid shit. I mean, shit that could happen, though, because motherfuckers is crazy. You see how niggas is getting down over them chicken sandwiches.
You stupid.
So, you know, I be really real life worried about my kids, the big one and the little one and shit like that. So, you know, like, you know, you could have hella kids, but you only got one parent, but everybody's so unique.
Yeah.
You know, and they, you know, she don't know if somebody trying to mistreat their daughter. And
you know what? And let me tell you, I called home one day and I was from Atlanta and I was just crying because I had this single and it was supposed to be big and they were going to get Kanye West on it. And it was this whole thing and it didn't happen. And I called her and I was just so tired and I just started crying and I don't normally do that with her. But I just needed somebody she was like, did somebody touch you? Like, that was the first thing she went
like
to.
that.
And I was like, oh, I can never go to my mom about anything again because she'll think something really crazy is happening. It's really not that crazy, but it's crazy. You know what I mean? I don't want her to worry, like, to the point where she thinks I'm in harm's way.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, she went there, and I was like, oh, no, Mom, I'm just, like, devastated.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
This is not working the way that and at that point, that's when I started just, like, keeping things in because I don't want anybody to worry, you know.
Well, was your mom a single parent? Like, do you know your dad and stuff?
Yes, my dad died when I was 11.
Gotcha.
He had cancer, but he was much older, so he was like in the Vietnam War and all this stuff, so he had became like this, you know, alcoholic. And
I know.
Those are the things I remembered, like, you know, as he had gotten older. But yeah, he died when I was 11.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And are you said you have a sister? Do you have any brothers or what?
I have a younger sister who, she's passed on. She was killed in 2007.
Okay.
In a high-speed chase. So I'm the middle child.
Oh, wow.
And then my older sister, she's kind of like my mom, too. She raised me, too.
Is she like 10 years older than you? Or
Or
something?
like 11.
Gotcha. I know how it is. Because, okay, it makes sense. Because it's crazy, like, when you have older siblings, like 8 years and up, then they're introducing you to shit that your peers aren't on.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember hearing, like, Tupac, but, you know what I'm saying, and Run DMC and shit like that.
Really?
You know, I couldn't buy the motherfucking tapes. I remember I was playing DJ Quick in the motherfucking house, and I got in trouble for that shit. This nigga talking about sweet black pussy and all that. My stepfather went past the motherfucking radio like, hey, I don't know where you think
probably
you
had
at.
it like turned up to like.
I didn't know. All I knew is that they was in there watching Richard Pryor, and I should be able to be in here.
That's how I felt about Harlem Nights. They would close the door when they was watching Harlem Nights. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to see the lady get her toe shot off. Why
Yeah.
not open the door? But,
For sure.
So I get it.
So what was it like when you met Tupac?
It was just randomly crazy. It was just random. And when I went to school the next day, nobody believed me. And that's one thing right now. If somebody's listening to this and you got the picture of me and Tupac, just listen. I will give you my address. This is one thing that I have been looking for since I was a kid. There's a picture that we took. Nobody knows where it is. And, but yeah, when I got to school the next day, everybody was like, girl.
Quit lying.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Because I got a picture of me and Muhammad Ali and shit like that.
That's crazy.
And I met him at Marcus Bookstore, but Marcus, hey, shut up. But, you know, I got a picture of the motherfucker.
See,
you know what I'm
got
saying?
it. Like, you
Hell
got,
yeah.
see?
Yeah, but they
That
was
sucks.
Polaroids and shit like that.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was definitely like a, we had to go to Walgreens to get it developed type thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you could bring back two dead artists besides
jeez.
Tupac, who would it be?
Let me tell you something. So I watch a lot of award shows, old school award shows, or school interviews. Like I OD on them.
Okay.
Whitney Houston is one of them.
Okay.
And so I was literally like watching a lot of her interviews yesterday. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of her story.
Can I just say one thing? Because, you know what I'm saying? I like this type of shit. Do you think Bobby Brown is the reason for her demise, or do you think that she was already fucking around before he came in?
Well, first of all, let me say this about Bobby Brown. He's one of the greatest R&B, damn near pop artists of like 88 to 90. I don't care what anybody says. Who Chris Brown is right now in this whole... For that pocket of time, that was who he was. I am a big Bobby Brown fan. Everybody needs to know it. He's an Aquarius like me.
Oh,
I understand the passion. I understand being misunderstood.
That's right.
And also, I think that it was already like clarified that he didn't get her on.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
You know, because some people got Bobby fucked up. Bobby Brown.
Let me tell you something. that man, he was cold. I still watch his his award show performances to this day, and I study them. That boy was cold.
Was he your favorite out of New Edition?
I'm a big New Edition fan too.
Okay.
So him and Ralph.
Name him.
No, you name him.
Name him.
You name
Name
him.
him.
Just sing it. It's easy.
But it's one you gonna miss.
No, never.
Okay.
Never.
Fuck that.
My favorites is Johnny Gill, Ralph Tresvant, and Bobby Brown. Those are my top three. But then you gotta love Belle Biv DeVoe too. So I'm that whole era of music I'm like really into. New Jack Swing, all of that. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So, because you hella interested. I'm glad you could vibe to this shit, because some motherfuckers be, I'm an OG.
See, but my sister, she is like, 11 years older than me. So I was really into like all the stuff she was into, because she was just like the coolest girl to me. Yeah. So I wanted to listen to all the stuff she was listening to. And so like I was all into just that era of music.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you said Whitney Houston, and who's the other person any dead artist?
Oh, geez. That's hard. We've lost some of my favorites. I was going to say Aaliyah. You think? I would, I think I was going to say Aaliyah, because we didn't get to see like what all the greatness that, was going to come. I would have liked to see what that was going to be like when Aaliyah first came out. She was just so fly to me. Her and Mary J. Blige, like, I just wanted to like dress like them and like, but Aaliyah's cool. You know
how like when the game lose somebody, then they put somebody in there, they like take like an old artist, then put a younger artist, and then a younger artist and a white artist? Do you know what I'm saying?
Give me an example.
Michael Jackson, they got to make a girl version, so then they got Janet Jackson. The younger version of Michael Jackson for the time was Usher, and then they got to have a girl version, so it was Beyonce. And then the white version of Beyonce is the crazy, what's her name? The white broad. Shit, what the fuck is her name? Not Chris, is it Christina Aguilera? No. Maybe Chris is somebody, but then the white usher is who? Justin Timberlake.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Kind of. I like these kind of conversations.
So is it safe to say after Aaliyah died, they kind of came up with a Sierra somewhat of the new Aaliyah?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because even when I think about Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, like, it took a minute for Janet to pop. Her first few albums didn't, you know what I mean? And I'm that's my number one artist, by the way.
Got you.
Janet is. So it's like maybe she had to prove herself a little more or something. I'm not sure, because she was a Jackson, but like she didn't hit immediately. But when she got in there, like she was everything. But I don't. When I think of Mike, like Mike, you know, he just grew and grew and grew and became. But like Janet had to maybe earn the respect or get with the right producers.
With the difference between Janet and Mike, there's a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
But this is it. That nigga Michael Jackson was in the Jackson 5. See, Beyonce had a closer career to Michael Jackson than Janet Jackson, even though that she was a female, because she was in a part of a group, Destiny Child. Do you get what I'm saying? So would you agree that Beyonce is like the next generation Janet Jackson?
I don't know if I would just say Beyonce is everything. Like, I am just a big fan. I'm so inspired by that lady. It makes no sense. And then I also feel the same way about Janet Jackson.
Got you.
The very same way. But I think they're all great, like, in their own right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm a big Usher fan too. So you're bringing up like all my favorites. Yeah. It's just something about artists that can deliver amazing records and also like perform them with like everything. I love a great performer.
Gotcha.
And then again, like it was something about like the mystique. Like that's what I grew up on. Like the mystique of Janet, the mystique of Michael Jackson. Like we didn't know everything. That's what made them these superstars. Gotcha. Whereas now it's like you gotta show them everything. And so I'm still trying to figure out how do I do this but not do it, because I was like trained by like what I listened to growing up. But yeah, all those artists to me are just great in their own right. I don't even really compare them.
Yeah. I've been told that I have a bad problem with that. I love comparing artists and motherfuckers. I'd be like, "L, don't do that shit tonight." So you was in Atlanta. Who's the king of trap music? When you think of trap music, who's the face of trap music?
When I think of trap, I think of T.I.
You know what? Some people say T.I., other people say Gucci.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I just automatically think like my mind goes to T.I.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I'm heavily involved in the Beyonce movement and, you know, the Janet movement. Like I've studied these people. I've done homework. So it's a different kind of conversation. When I think about that, what comes to mind is T.I. But don't ask me too much more, because I don't know if you might have to take it with a grain of salt, because I haven't studied that the way I've studied. So
say Mrs. Netta Brielle, you know what I'm saying, was going to go on a motherfucking space shuttle out of space, right? What 5 albums are you going to take? Artist and album.
That's hard. I don't know how to do that. But you're going to be there
for 1 year. 1 year. And then you got to come back. They're going to give you $1 million. But you got to listen to these same 5 fucking albums the whole motherfucking time.
Okay. That's so hard for me to narrow down, because today it'll be one thing and tomorrow it'll be something else. But it would definitely be a Janet album. I would probably take like a Rhythm Nation. Okay. There would probably be some Stevie in there somewhere. Okay. Oh man. There'd probably be some Madonna somewhere in there. Prince. Mary. Whitney.
So who would you... Now I got to ask you a question. What celebrity crush would you take?
Oh, let's go.
2 men. She's a player.
I've loved Usher since I was 12 years old. Okay. I've loved Usher since I was 12. Okay, so I would probably take him. But then if he wasn't available, I might take Chris Brown, you know, because he's just... I'm a big fan.
Gotcha.
I used to have a crush on Marcus Houston from Immature back in the day. It's very random. That's all I can think of.
Okay. Now, what 5 people in your personal life? No. What 5 people would you take? You know what I'm saying? Like individual celebrities, a celebrity, a motherfucking person that you personally know. Who would you spend 1 year in space with that you know?
Oh gosh, no, that's hard. Cause it's people that I love, but like I don't know if I could be around them like all
Yeah.
day. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I asked somebody this question. They said, who you take? I said, my best friend, one of my best friends, that's a girl. I said, I take her because she ain't got no kids and I ain't got to worry about her motherfucking ass. I'm ready to go home. I'll take Andre motherfucking 3000 to make some music, and I'll take Erykah Badu because I like her music and the nigga gonna need some pussy. I would definitely take that
my
motherfucker
God.
Doctor Strange, you know what I'm saying, to tell me about shit about dimensions and that type of shit to keep me entertained. And last but not least, I'm taking Pinky to motherfucking porno store so I can flip her big ass in
On that
space.
note,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know who I would take.
But yeah, though. So where could people find your music at?
Yeah, Netta, Netta, Brielle. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, everything's my first and last name. I post all my latest shows, all my latest releases. This single is what I'm really focused and pushing right now. So if we can get those streams up, I would not be mad at all. I would love to get on the road one day soon. So those are like my short-term goals. Ready for 2020.
And guess what? I just got a revelation. Guess what? You're going to make a lot of money doing what? Guess what?
What?
Singing gospel. I see it in your eye. You glowing.
I love the Lord.
I don't know if it's that orange hat, but you know how like they see pictures of Jesus with the halo?
Okay.
I see it. I see it.
I do love the Lord. So
That's right. So, any shout outs you want to give out before we get out of here?
I want to thank you for having me. I had a
Okay.
good time. I like having interviews with people that I feel like, it could be a real conversation,
Gotcha.
not the typical questions.
Okay, so.
So when did you know that, you wanted to be a singer?
Okay,
And it's just like,
what's better, East Mama or MB? Well, you hella funny. I enjoyed having you too. But check it out though. That's another episode of I Need to Know. I am LD's, also known Party Boy Lawrence, the one for another
Party Boy
episode. I need to know. Come on, you know what I want.
Need to know what really makes you go. Need to know what really makes you go. I was so happy when I met you on a fluke.